Welcome back to another episode of
Yeah.
Comics Dello Morte, episode 52 Balloon Heads, Bloody Birthday Bash, and Chat and Draw.
Man, happy
As
birthday,
all,
Ronnie. Let's go
thank
ahead and
you.
say it real quick. Happy birthday, Ronnie.
Yeah. But like, what from Thor Ragnarok? It's my birthday. You remember that that part where he's on
Oh,
the
yeah.
ship?
Yep.
Yeah. But yeah.
Yep.
So yeah, Ronnie Gunter, Crimson Owl Comics. My co-host, as always, Jason Alexander, Frogbreaker Studios. And before we get into the show today, Jason, share what you got going on.
Oh, man. All right. You said it. Now I'm about to get unleashed. Hope y'all ready. Hold on. Look. Nope. I'm not going to miss that again. Watch this. We are not talking without doing the screen share right way this time. Here we go. Mini comic bundles. Y'all know what it is. Like, we're talking about short horror tonight, man. Like, me and Aaron did a lot of horror in the minis. Like, and it's really, I'm not supposed to say it's really good, but it's really good. Like, even if it wasn't ours, I would enjoy it. If you go on the site, we do have like an actual, like, full length mini up, so you guys can check out like what you get. But in a minute, I'm going to show you what they look like physically because I have them right beside me, because I love the artwork, but you can't really, it's a whole experience. Like, to hold these in your hand and to be the size that they are and to be the quality that they are, man, like, it's bananas. Like, we do that, and we're at month 10 now. Month 11 is getting ready to start shipping probably in the next maybe next week or so. So it's like the minis are winding down. I'm so excited because we have the Drifter in the minis this time. And that story is a lot more fun than even I thought it was going to be. But yeah, check us out. Minicomicbundles.com. Go through the one shots. Well, one shot, and then we have two other stories that kind of get you familiarized with the terrain of it all. And check them out. $5, y'all. Like, get 3 comics for $5, and then like ongoing series and super high quality and super limited edition. Minicomicbundles.com. Also, I have reviews up on Indie Comic Dispatch. I got a review posted today on a book called Mara. Really unique book. I think is really worth your time. A lot of other good reviews from a lot of other good, awesome indie creators, like IndieComicsDispatch.com. You can read my reviews and other people's reviews. And finally, because I know you're probably tired of listening to me talk about myself, Ronnie, go to my Instagram. Like, my Instagram is as close as I get to like normal social media, but it's usually something I'm working on or some other adventure or misadventure I'm having. Sometimes I go fishing. I like to catch a lot of fish. So,
Nothing wrong with
but
that.
no, y'all, no way, Jose. I love it. But so Instagram.com, Fallbreaker Studios, minicomicbundles.com. And if you want to see my reviews on other comics, IndieComicsDispatch.com. Check out the review section. All right, Ronnie. Oh, before I wrap up, this is what the minis look like in hand. My dog got my green roses. I got to get another one. My dog ate my homework. But no, we got jagged edges. Like, this is straight up horror. We got the liaison, and it's like they're so high end, but they're so small at the same time. Like, it's like getting a pack of baseball cards. But yeah, that's what I got. Chase, how's it going?
Yeah. Thank you, Chase, for joining the chats and saying happy birthday. Appreciate that. And now, let me see if I can bring up. I'm still working on episode 3. It is a big episode. but man, I'm having fun with it. I could say that.
Good. I can't wait to read it, man. I've loved the previews you've given me, but it's always better when it's done because you
Mhm.
very rarely show me your writing until it's
Oh,
like it's
yeah,
all ready to
exactly.
come out. So
Like when exactly, that's what it is. I mean, I'll show the artwork, but with the writing, it's like, oh wow, yeah.
yep.
So see, so my horror definitely has like that element to like the supernatural
For
where you
sure,
see the
yeah.
owl. I mean, I'm Crimson Owl Comics. I have to have an owl there. So,
right?
you know, of course, Jason and Gary knows what's going to happen with this owl. I'm gonna save it for the audience who's going to read the book. But yeah, just really having fun because anyone who hasn't been following the channel for too long knows that my comic, the real world, takes place in full color, while you know the demonic like monster universe kind of takes place where you have like grays and blacks, but then you'll see some colors like with the owl, the eyes are blue and everything to really make that owl stick out a lot. So yeah, just having fun with that.
Yeah,
So
it's been quite the read so far, man. I really enjoyed it. So I know it's only gonna get better
mhm.
from here, man. So keep it up.
Yeah, I mean that's the fun thing with creating horror, but having like a actual like world build around it, and where it's almost like that fantasy world as well. Because when I think of that, I think of like comics like Hellboy and Spawn. Yes, they're superhero, but they definitely have their horror elements to it. And even when we reviewed I'm having a blank here. The dark fantasy that we reviewed. Why am I having a
Oh, Blood Realm.
yeah, Blood Realm. I like
Yeah,
that when you have the horror elements, but you have like almost that fantasy to it. Really
right.
great
And
stuff.
it was yeah,
Mhm.
it's just part of the world. So
Yeah.
it adds another dynamic
Mhm.
to it. Nothing's wrong. It's
Yeah.
just what can happen in this world.
But like what you said, I'm doing it in my own style, but there's some elements into there where you kind of see like a callback to like the traditional horror movies that you would see growing up during our time period.
For
Just with
sure,
the
yeah.
with the shots of the panels, or like how something would be shaded in a certain way. So yeah, it's really fun.
Yeah.
But
It looks like you're enjoying it.
oh yeah, for sure. And now we are coming back to yet again one of our favorite horror manga creators, Junji
Junji
Ito.
Ito. Oh man.
Yeah.
Junji Ito is my favorite horror writer
Mhm.
right now, as far as comic books
Yeah.
go. Just every time I either like it or I really, really like it. So
Mhm.
this book didn't disappoint, not 1%.
Yeah. Let's see if I could get this sharing for the first screen. Do-do-do.
So it's the hanging balloons. What a how crazy of a premise. Like it's it's my kind of story. Like
Yeah.
horror in the most unlikely of situations that's good enough to allow you to suspend disbelief for a little bit. Like you don't
Mhm.
have to, it doesn't have to make sense for you to understand how scary it would be to have this happen to you on a random
Yeah.
day.
I mean, it's definitely one of those things like I said before we came onto the show that it has like that outer limits uh Twilight Zone feel to it, where it's
Yeah,
so far out there, but it's so good to read it, even though it's a short horror story.
it's so good. And I believe that for this story in particular, because there is a long form hanging balloons,
Mhm.
but this is just like some off street. It's not part of that story. It's just in that
Yeah.
same world. So
Mhm.
you can't imagine how disturbing this is. And I've been looking for the right word because it's the right kind of horror for me anyway. Is that
I mean, look at how creepy the head's with the
unsettling?
big smile and the big
Yeah,
eyes glaring.
yeah. I wanted to say confusing, but it's not confusing because that sounds like you can't make sense of the story. But it's like that's the way it's supposed to be made. It's supposed to be made to be just kind of disarming and unsettling. And it just nails it. Like even visually, yes, but even like as the story progresses, it has an even bigger twist than what was already happening, which was wild. So no, all right, I won't just keep rambling about it because I could talk to Junji Ito all day.
Even before getting into the the story, what I love about about Ito is that he does such a great job on facial expressions, where even just seeing like the woman here, the little kid, and everything is just terrifying. Like he made a woman with crazy hair and just smiling to make it and made it look creepy. So yeah, and not cheesy and not like cheesy or stupid looking.
Right,
Yeah,
exactly.
This takes place in Japan. All of a sudden, all these balloons are coming out of nowhere, and they're saying that. But after 3 weeks, the number of balloons begin to gradually decrease. Almost a month later, all of them have disappeared. But you find out, like it says here, after finding and hanging its owner, the balloon will float through the air with the body.
It's like a parade just ended, but it's people balloons, and it's just like people balloon and hanging people trash just everywhere, and then they just vanish.
But the thing is, what's crazy is that this balloon has to have some type of life to it if it's able to take its rope and wrap it around the person that looks like the balloon.
Yeah, like it's intelligent towards the person that it looks like. Yeah, it's crazy.
It's like I look at like you, so I'm gonna take you off, and just imagine just not going outside and staying at home, but you are literally floating in the sky, having this noose around your neck, and you don't know what to do because you don't know where this come from or what's going to happen to you.
Yeah, that's pretty much it's not going to take long. It's like Judgment Day. Like,
yeah, for sure.
It's crazy. Like, I love this kind of story. I love this kind of story. I love the length of it. I love the subject of it. I don't need to read the whole story.
And I picked it out just because I know the story doesn't relate to my birthday, but I thought it would have been funny because they're balloon heads,
Well, when we get to have your birthday in real life, I'm gonna get a bunch of balloon heads.
You're just gonna take a Pennywise clown's mask and put on a balloon. No.
Oh man, that's funny.
No, but yeah, just really terrifying stuff. I mean, it definitely has that sci-fi element to it, so I love that.
Yeah, it's got it all. Like, I have to admit, I have not read a Junji Ito book, although I recognize his style of music with the stores. Anything would be a good introduction. Just start with Uzumaki. And
yeah, because we did a whole almost 10 episodes on
we did quite a few. Yeah, we broke the whole. We ran the whole gamut.
I think we actually went through 5 or 6 because we did a couple couple chapters together.
Yeah,
but man,
yeah, we did. It was good.
We did a big chunk.
It's such a good book. Yeah,
when you think of not American horror artist, but when you think of like Japanese manga horror artists, he's definitely like one of the grandfathers in Japan that people look to and respect to know how to draw and write for horror manga. Like he's really really looked up to.
When I saw the thing, because I saw the thing very late, but it instantly reminded me of Junji Ito's artwork, like the special effects in it. But start with Uzumaki. You won't, if you like horror, you won't dislike it at all. So, and at that point, it'll make you like go through a lot of the other, like the short stories. Like you'll just, I don't know, it's easy to appreciate, and the things that you don't like a little bit, you won't write them off before Uzumaki. So start with Uzumaki, but look at that. Like, look at the woman's hair. Like it was exactly who she was.
I mean, yeah, like you don't even have to look close up onto the person that's being hung. You could exactly tell that's the same person. But again, you could tell it's a balloon and not a real person, but it has so much life in the appearance.
Yeah, like why is this happening?
And and with my comic, I tried to put, different type of, I have men, women, people of different race and nationality. And I could tell you what, just besides the facial features, this man knows how to draw hair. Hair is very hard to do to make it look great.
Yeah, you can do hair, but this time, like this looks great.
Yeah. I mean, you could go with hair and just do it like you see in like Looney Tunes cartoons where it's just a big design. No, but he's putting detail and shading. Just great work.
Just per usual, man. Like, and this was one of my favorite parts of this story when they tried to just shoot.
They also made a live action movie, by the way, Chase.
Yep.
Yeah. But yeah. What were you saying, Jason?
No, I was just saying, like, this is one of my favorite parts of the like when they shoot this balloon out and you see, like, this is where the twist starts. Like it reveals like this strange connection that, like, when something, not only did the balloon kill this woman, but when something happens to the balloon, it happens to the person. And like, how is that? You know what I mean? Like, how is that? And that's kind of where the story goes for its, I guess I would say, last act. Oh, Frank, how's it going, man? Yeah, definitely good looking book.
Let me see. Get the other one. Yeah, I divided the panels up into like different what is it? Page links, because I just had to zoom on to show like the real great work of this.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Yeah, this book did, as short as it did have some pretty exceptional panels. Like you were saying earlier, like just the facial expressions.
That
like,
right there.
Look at this. Like this is an insane sequence.
Man, like I would want this as a poster on the wall for me, just because the transition from like her looking normal and then her dying. But it's awesome too, because you have that effect of like the skin almost decaying, but while it's not decaying too, it has like that element to it where it looks like the head is deflating like a real balloon.
Junji Ito just knows how to make faces look scary.
Yeah.
There's no color. There's no like visible blood. There's
But
just
he,
something.
oh
Yes,
yeah, for
it's
sure.
just there's just something about the way Junji Ito uses his line work
Yeah, like the
to
face literally wrinkled, like it
yeah,
went into rigor mortis. I mean, no, decayed.
yeah.
Yeah, decayed.
Because as you see, like he draws very pretty women,
Hmm.
but like he can also like the one like the hospital scene in Uzumaki, like these really scary images. Like, look at this. And then
Yeah.
you notice that the actual woman, like her
Hmm.
head, did the same thing that the balloon head did, but nobody
Yeah.
shot her.
Yeah. That she was
And that's not what
completely
people look
normal,
like when they get shot. Yeah.
right? That she looked completely normal, but then when you shot down the balloon, something happened to her. So it's like now
Right.
you really got to question like what's happening and what's the link between all this. You take care of that. Take care of
So
that.
good.
For sure. Do. 420. Yeah, that's the next one. So pretty much now you see that they shut down 3 heads,
Yep.
and I love how they're shot sequenced in different angles. I mean, especially look at the guy on the left with his tongue out. That's pretty awesome.
It's like Law and Order. Like, you know what I mean? Like
Mhm.
this is like the forensics room. Like, but
But it's so great because it looks like a face that's like decaying, but it has also that like again where it looks like you pop a balloon and it's deflated and it's wrinkled as well.
yeah, like how does a balloon have a tongue? That's it's
Right?
so
Mhm.
so good, man. So
Yeah.
good.
So pretty much here, you have a bunch of scientists trying to figure out what's going on, and pretty much they're like, okay, the balloon is made of nylon. There's nothing like peculiar or like weird about it. But
It's
then
just a balloon, right?
you find out something else about why do these things attack people, who made them. It appears that the balloon is made with nylon, and then we get into the next one, and you find out what's so uh what the balloon and the person has a connection to.
This is the big twist right here.
Mhm.
Like
And this is where it
this
gets
is when you
into like the sci-fi element to it.
yeah.
Ooh. And what did you say? In other words, nylon. So not just the balloon, but the person that was like floating and attached to the balloon, their skin literally became not human tissue anymore, but it
Yeah,
became
they
nylon
become
as well.
balloon.
So their whole body became nylon fabric. So it's like
Yeah.
what what happened during that point to where that face appeared to that person now being hung by it. Just really creepy. And it's like, do their
Yeah,
skin turn? Does
why
your
do you
skin turn
turn
into
into a
nylon?
balloon?
Yeah, like does it turn into nylon as soon as they grab onto you, or as soon as you see one that looks like you, your skin starts turning into it as well?
Right, yeah. Like
But, really, really great story. Like I said, it's only like about what 4 or 5 pages, but
yeah, it's like a
it's
five
definitely
page story.
it's definitely one of those things that I recommend that you just got to go out and read because it's so much better with the dialogue.
Yeah, and as they're
Mhm.
walking through the city, and then she
And
touches her face,
she's sweating
chilling.
too, you know?
Yeah,
And then she's like, my face feels strange and smooth, just like those balloons. So you know what's happening now. Her skin is starting to turn into the nylon.
Right.
And then and now the professor, his face is changing too. And
look,
we're going to leave it at, and this is the end of the episode, or not the show, but the end of the short story. And you could see that this guy here and that girl here is the balloons taking the form of them.
Yep. Such a
And
good
it's
story.
only, yeah, it was, I can't remember where, but this definitely came like out of an anthology. But this story is good enough that I wish I could find out if he ever wanted to like make a spin-off or further the story down.
There is a long form version of this story.
Oh, is there?
Yeah, this is like, so like, you know how Junji Ito does cities in his books. So this is just like down one street of the major event that's happening in the longer story, I believe.
I gotta find that longer story if you don't know where it is already.
Yeah, it's right on. I found out about it on Imager.
Yeah. But yeah, just great short story. I mean, that's the thing. Trying to write you of all people should know, trying to write a horror story, but in such a short pages. Like you're doing what, 8 pages of horror?
Yeah, I tell you what, it's hard at first until you let go, and it's really one of my it's I enjoy it. Like I enjoy really short horror now because it just gives you that feeling that you can't keep up. Like I think that adds to the, like her wondering if her face is turning into a balloon. It kind of gives you that feeling of anxiety. Like you would constantly be checking your face to see if it felt like a balloon, so
well, not just that, but with her sweating like that, if it's hot outside, she's probably feeling the heat on her skin. That's probably like burning really bad because of the night. Like if you ever went outside out of the sun for a while and then you touch a balloon after it's been in the sun, it's hot because the heat's like warming up the fabric.
Right. Yeah.
But yeah, awesome stuff. But Frank, if you're still here, well, first, before we invite you in, Jason, what would you give this story? I mean, it's hard because it's such a short story.
No, it's not hard. It's a 10. It's a 10. And I don't have a problem counting this as a 10 because it doesn't count as 10 against a 22-page plus book. But
yeah,
this is a perfect bite. Like this is like a moose bouche or whatever you call it. Like this is like a perfect bite of food on a spoon, and it's all you need. Like I would love to read the long story, but if this is all that existed of this story, I would also love it just the same. It's just such it's a great book.
Gotcha. Oh man.
All right, what you got?
It's hard because I want to give it a 10, but also if not a 10, a 9.5. But it's one of those things
would be fair.
I would give it a 9.5, but then I don't know why I would rate it so low, because if you're only going off of a short horror story, most short horror stories, you don't have to have like a full length, detail of why is this happening, and you're dragging it on for like 3 pages, and then you really don't have an ending suspense.
Exactly.
That's why I kind of want to rate it. Yeah, that's why I want to rate it a 10, because when you I go back to even though they're TV shows, some of the best like Twilight and Outer Limits episodes were ones that were just straight point to like the suspense and the horror without no really further detail.
Yeah, the thing is, like, you add tension to the suspense when you don't give your reader a chance to get their
Grasp
bearings.
everything. It's like
Yeah,
you're taking their
there's
breath
nothing
away.
wrong with that. Yeah,
Yeah.
there's nothing wrong with that. Like, this is horror.
Mhm.
You don't have time to wonder if it makes sense. You have to run away. Like, that's the story you try to tell, and that's the feeling that you should create, because
Mhm.
if somebody can relate to it, then you got them.
Yeah, I would give it a 10.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
yeah,
welcome.
I'll give it a 10.
Yeah, why
Not
did it
like
take
a
you so
not like a
long?
10 not like a 10 versus a 22-page book. Like, I would definitely recommend Uzumaki before this one, just because I'm in love with Uzumaki and just so much beautiful writing and artwork. But definitely, if
Yes.
you had like short stories, this is a great short story for people that like, even with you, anyone who wants to like sit down. It's like, okay, I want to make a 22-page horror comic, but I don't have a story that I could progress that long. But that's the beautiful thing about horror, especially back in the EC, I mean you know, the EW days with Tales of the Crypt and all this stuff. All of those books literally were just short anthology stories.
Yeah, like, sometimes this is my tips for beginning to write. Um, Especially with horror, if you have a
Mhm.
really scary, I guess I'll call it a scene. Like, if you have like a really scary chunk, write it,
Mhm.
write it, draw it, do whatever you need to lock that down, because sometimes you'll find that it's good right there. But if you lock the scariest part down, it's also going to invest you enough in the telling the build up and the come down. Because sometimes, like, I personally can, like, it makes me like lose interest in my own writing sometimes if I know where I'm going, but I feel like it's going to take a while to get there. So I've had to
Mhm.
start to train myself to that there's nothing wrong with writing out of sequence if I have a solid
Mhm.
outline. Yes,
Mhm.
all of it's very scary, Frank.
A perfect example that I could give is uh what is it? Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark.
Yeah, that was a good one. I used to read those.
Those books are great, but that's a perfect example. I mean, sure, they're just like mostly literature books that have like only still images and not like based in a comic book format. But that is a perfect example of like short stories that don't go very long, but yet they get to the point on
Yeah.
scaring you.
Yeah, a kid like me who didn't, I didn't grow up with a lot of like horror movies,
Mhm.
but just
Yeah.
like that super sketchy style. And then it's like you'd be looking at the page, and you'd be reading the story, and sometimes the story was only a page. You have to turn a
Mhm.
page to
Yeah,
finish it.
exactly. Mhm.
Like, those stories hit. Like, those were good little books, and the pages were just like kind of off white. So again, like, it locked you in pretty good for a kid's book.
Yeah. But now, after we gave our review and everything, Frank, do you want to come on this channel? Be the first time for Frank to be on here.
Oh, put the pressure on you.
Right? Let's see.
I
Do
read.
do. Let me message him.
Yeah, bring it on, Frank. Let's do it. Surprise guest. It's like when you're watching wrestling and somebody from
Ready?
WCW would show up on Monday Night Raw.
Mhm. Okay. Yeah, he's coming on. But yeah,
Nice.
or it's like those like, oh man, it's like how WWE that one time had like a Royal Rumble with all their
Yep.
past creations, and
Yep.
some of them were like really dumb back in the day. You had like
Yep. You're right.
you had like the or WCW. You have
Yep.
the like the Mummy versus like
Oh, the
Santa Claus.
mummy. Awesome.
Do.
Man, wrestling is trying to get good again now.
Yeah. So with our chat and draw, and tomorrow starts the month of Scary Tober, because you just don't have Halloween one day out of the month. It's the whole month. So what are
Do the
you going to be
whole
drawing?
thing. I'm just working on a scary lady face.
Hey, Frank.
What's up, man? How's it going?
Doing good. Got my sketchbook ready.
Awesome, man. Well, thanks for coming on.
Yeah.
No problem. I got home just in time. I wasn't sure if I was going to make it, but I made it.
Gotcha.
Awesome.
And of course, I'll find them, but if you have any links that you want me to do, I'll re-edit the description and put your stuff down there.
Cool. Just my link tree. You can just
yeah. Yeah, Frank just started at Etsy.
Yeah, I was gonna say that. I had my first sale today. It was a
awesome, man.
Awesome,
nice.
awesome.
Congratulations.
So tell a little bit of people about because you're the first time on our show. Tell the audience, who you are and what you do.
Well, I'm Frank Salazar, aka Captain Goggles, and I make comics. Right now, I'm doing mini comics, and if you check out my Etsy store, you can get these two in this little bundle. Captain Goggles and Mask Woman. It's 2 issues in here, and there's like little cards. I hand color all the cards, so
I gotta get mine.
There's like a bunch of cards. And a little side story of Mask Woman, and I did this in kind of like a little journal. So there's like little pages here in the back, so you can write notes and draw.
Oh, that's really cool.
After you read your story, so
it's like a field journal.
Yeah. So you can find it on my Etsy and check out my videos, Salazar Art Nation. I just did a video today announcing that. So there should be links in that video. Yeah, it's working on comics.
So I gotta say one thing, like since like the early days, like of the Discord, like Frank was always the guy that like if I saw something cool and I'd be like trying to make a plan on how I could do it, Frank would just like, nope, I'm doing it, and he would do it. And it's like he still does it. Like I always thought that was so awesome, Frank. So like you've always kept me on my toes. Like I've always appreciated that.
Oh, no problem. Thanks. Yeah, that's something that it came from years of not doing to finally deciding, you know what, I'm gonna stop worrying. And like, are you talking about writing? And I was thinking like, man, if I want to make a comic, first I gotta write it. First I gotta do this, do that, and man, it's gonna take time. I'm just talking myself out of it, and then like, I'm just gonna do it.
So, gotcha.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. Like I try to do that more and more. Like I'm definitely grateful to like be able to watch somebody like not dawdle, like make comics and not excuses. That's your thing, right?
That's right.
That's awesome.
Even over the Etsy store, I was like, well, what if this? And I heard this, and you know what? I'm just gonna do it. And like the first day, I mean, very next day, I made a sale. I made a sale this morning. That's awesome, like, oh, great, fantastic. So, I don't care if it's $5 or $100. I'm shouting it at the top of the world. Hey, I made my money selling my comic, and you can too. I don't want to hear excuses.
I love it. So what you drawing on tonight, Ronnie?
Oh, I'm gonna draw a scary scarecrow.
Oh yeah.
Let's see, what should I draw?
Yeah, make it Halloween themed, Frank.
All right. I'm trying to think.
Think
I'll
of
do a
like
quick
your
sketch.
most. Think of a like a fun Halloween decoration that you can make. Scary.
Okay. I'm trying to think of what's a fun Halloween decoration. I mean, right now I'm thinking of just the jack o' lantern, the classic.
Oh, I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, for sure.
Let me see what I can do with that. Speaking of, did you ever watch the movies Pumpkinhead?
Oh yeah, of course.
I
I
haven't
love
seen it.
Pumpkinhead.
And the first one, I mean, I think the ones I saw like were scary, but the first one really,
Hmm.
like, man, that stuck with me.
Oh yeah, the first one definitely was like a classic. The other ones, were like this is a catch grab
Yeah,
type of
It
deal. Like
happens.
the story wasn't as good as the first one.
That's how I
yeah.
felt when I saw Gremlins 2. And when I saw Gizmo walk in, I was like,
Mhm.
this is a 2-hour Pepsi commercial.
Yeah.
Yep. Sorry. That's my 2 cents on it. Sorry, guys.
No, I understand.
There was one called Blood Wings, and later I found out that was a term for something else. I was so confused. But
Oh,
it was.
whoa, what?
I can't even talk about it on the stream. But I'll tell you after. But
OMG.
Oh, that's
because
cool.
someone told me, like, said that term, and I was like, Pumpkinhead, and then they explained to me. Never mind. Like, okay.
Oh, no.
I was innocent.
No more after that conversation.
Yeah.
Bon voyage.
So with Frank, won't you talk a bit about like besides Pumpkinhead, is there like horror movies that or horror like books that you really like and why?
Oh yeah. Like I mean, you gotta go with the classic Stephen King. I
Yep.
would
Hmm.
read Stephen King when I was like growing up because my sister like really loved Stephen King, so she would like buy the novels, and we would watch horror movies. She's the one that I think introduced me the most to horror movies because she would like
Hmm.
rent movies, and it became our little tradition
Yeah.
that every Friday
Yeah,
Totally.
we would go to
for sure.
McDonald's, pick up something to eat, and go to the video store
Oh
and
man,
Hmm.
video
get
stores were the
get
best.
three videos. So it'll be a movie she likes, a movie I like or want to see, and a kid movie for my niece. And that was like our tradition. So we
Yeah.
would say, oh, what do you want to see? And we'll get horror movies, and I'll get like other type of movies, and like movies that look interesting, and like
Yeah.
werewolves. And Ronnie left werewolf movies and the Exorcist movies, and if they
Yeah.
were in like sequels, so
Hmm.
like one a week, like we would okay,
Oh,
part
nice. That's
one,
cool.
and
Yeah.
next week part two, and they're like, man, I
Yeah.
can't wait for the next one. And I did that with the Halloween movies, and the third one wasn't that great, but
Yeah, that's awesome. We didn't get to. I watch most scary movies either like waiting
Yeah.
at the barbershop or like in a waiting room. Like I saw The Omen like in the waiting room
oh
when my
It's a
when my
classic.
sister had an appendicitis. So it was like I was in the emergency room for a while. And I remember watching the whole movie there. Like I couldn't hear it great, but it was enough. Like visually, it was enough. Like for like a kid like who hadn't really been exposed to any horror to
yeah.
be like, okay, yeah,
Hmm.
like this is scary enough. But Prince of Darkness is like the first. That was my first scary movie. Like, and it's still been like the kind of scary that I like to do. But yeah.
Oh, cool. Yeah, I saw The Exorcist as a little kid. That scared me. Like,
Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
I
that's
was
a
old
classic
when
right
I
there.
saw that. No,
My
still.
sister, we would when we grew up as kids, we had the back door like way down the hall, and I guess there was like a wind or something, and it closed the hard metal door, and we were watching that, and then we just hear, ah! I was like, and my sister was like, go check. No, you check. I'm not gonna
No.
check.
Yeah. Yeah. Whatever that was has to come. It has to come to me. I'm not going to. I'm not going to it.
Right.
It's fine. It's fine over there.
Yep. Just the other day we heard some big crash outside, and my wife was like, "What was that?" I'm like, "Whatever it is, we will see the aftermath when the sun is out and it's burned all that the evil darkness away." I was not going out there like on its turf. I think it was just like a raccoon or something. It ended up being a non-issue. The end.
Yeah.
What you got, Ronnie? What you up to over there?
Oh, I'm not going to show it yet.
I was practicing some facial expressions for Captain Goggles today. Just kind of keeping the skills going.
Mm-hmm. I really dug that post you had of like all the different heads. That was really cool.
Yeah, that's how I did that one today.
Awesome,
I was like, I'm just gonna practice because we're updating the story a bit after I finished off the little mini comics that I'm doing. We're gonna do it as a graphic novel. So we got like a script kind of like that we're chiseling out.
Are you guys gonna do it like full size?
Yeah.
Nice, that's awesome, man.
Full size. We're rebooting the story a bit. I mean, we're keeping some of the same elements,
right?
But it has more of a character development. There's a storyline we've been toying around with, and I was gonna try and tell it in the mini comics. Like, no, it needs to be a big comic. So we decided I think it was Anna's idea. We were like, let's just reboot it, redesign it, start fresh. We'll just use like the mini comics as a baseline, and
this gets this. Everybody's familiar with the characters now. Now here's the story that we want to tell, right?
Yeah,
I dig it. Now, are you guys gonna crowdfund, or are you just gonna do it?
Well, we're gonna just jump in and do it, but after like we have more pages. What I would like to do, because I do see this a lot where people will crowdfund and then they kind of work off that money and work on the comic. Like, I want to have at least 80 to 90% done, or if not all of it done, and then just
absolutely, for sure. I understand that.
Just to get the printing done, so I can say, yeah, it's done, guys. I'm just waiting on like the money.
Don't think that once you support it, it's gonna take forever for it to exist. Like this is something that I'm working on and I take seriously. That's cool.
For sure. And that's the best thing to do for anyone out there who wants to do a Kickstarter. Have most of the story already done, because you don't know in your personal life what's going to happen. You really don't.
Right. I think either way works, but I would, I think it. I like it. I would like to think that I would want to have most of it done before.
Yeah,
I would, but I also understand that, like, if you got a vision and you got like an artist in mind, you might have to do it the other way, because that's cool too.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's gonna be a new experience for me actually making a graphic novel. And
that's awesome, man. It's like most of my early stuff felt like super long like that, but was saying to Ronnie earlier, like after the minis, like really, like once I really got into writing them, I just wanted to tell short horror. Like, and it's like a lot of it was, how can you really miss with Aaron drawing it? But at the same time, it's like some of that stuff, like I love it so much because it's so short. Like it just, I enjoy that part of it. So this story that we did tonight, I don't know how much you heard of what we were talking about, Frank, but like as short as it is, like you could read the whole thing in like a couple of minutes for real. You would read, you would take longer to read it because it looks so good, but it's a super short read, but it was so good.
Wow, yeah, I gotta check those out. I'm a little behind on the mini comic bundles, but I feel you guys are really like making more. Like, oh, I gotta catch up. I'm behind.
Yeah, like 11 is getting ready to come out. Can you believe that? Like, yeah,
I think I got 5 or 6. So like I gotta go back and see which one.
This last one that came out, minus because we started another 6-parter, but this last one that came out, man, like it's horror. It's a horror bundle, and I love it. It's so good. It was the first one that my wife was like, maybe don't show this one to like maybe don't show this bundle to the kids. And I'm like, yes, finally.
Yeah,
and that's all you want to hear.
Yeah. And I've toyed around with like a little bit of horror, which you've seen.
Oh yeah,
a couple that I've done. And yeah, there was one like with the trees.
Frank
and
did
like, I'm posting these
slasher
on
comic. It was so good.
Yeah, I was posting these on my WhatsApp status and like, oh, I did this and did this, and someone was asking me like, what are you doing? Like you're chopping off heads of tree people, like
yep. So good. I loved it. Yeah. Like I loved it.
I was like yeah,
it's not for kids.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was so
but
good.
That's the thing. What made me laugh, because Frank doesn't know and you don't know, but I think it was the indie company that literally made a horror movie about trees that came to life and was killing people because the trees had emotions, but they were literally going into people's homes on Christmas Day and killing them. Like they literally had one Christmas tree shove the top of the tree, the Christmas tree literally ran the top of his head through a person's body. And
oh my goodness.
And you literally see the tree walking off with the person screaming because the tree literally shoved it up like the person's butt. So the person's like screaming because like they're the tree angel. They're the tree angel. I'm kidding you not. They're like the tree angel.
Ronnie, what did you watch?
And what was worse, this one woman's like, I'm gonna get you, I'm gonna kill you all for what you did to my baby. And you saw this one tree, I guess that was a mother, and she had like a baby tree next to her, and I guess that baby tree was her kid, and she just saw a picture of the mother watching her baby kid get chopped up for fire log. So literally,
okay. So what's the name of this movie?
I have to look it up again, but literally, it's a real movie. So at one point,
if it says Ronnie Gunter presents, I'll be like, Ronnie.
But I don't want to give up too much away. But it's really funny. Well, not funny, but it's like it's messed up.
I get it.
It's messed up because you literally see this giant tree like bounce up in the air like it had legs and landed on a newborn.
Oh my God, Ronnie!
Oh
yeah, but it didn't show. But it didn't show like it didn't show like the whole thing. It just showed blood splattered because it remembered that woman killed its newborn, so it was going to kill her newborn. I'm like, man, like this
was a mother tree.
Yeah, mother tree. I'm like, I'm like, man, this had to be made by Troma or something because this has like Troma all over it. So I don't know who the company was, but if people don't know what Troma is, those are the creators of like the Toxic Avenger and stuff. And that is some like detailed gore stuff there.
Ronnie, I will never forget today. This is one of those days. I'll never forget this conversation.
But it's crazy. And you know what's crazy enough is that I was like, hey, let me look up some like indie horror movies for Christmas, and that popped up. I'm like, oh my god.
Yeah, I'll say that was pretty intense. Holy moly!
Yeah, that sounds like around the lines of Jack Frost, the horror one, and also
oh yeah, Jack Frost. Oh my gosh, don't get. Oh man. With Jack Frost and Thanksgiving, you have a snowman and a turkey, and it's one of those horror movies like they had to find a way to have a naked woman who's attractive, and for the snowman and the turkey to try like to have sex with the woman before killing her. That I'm just, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ronnie, you've seen all the movies. I have never seen a movie like this before. I mean, not no horror movie anyway. You know what I'm saying?
But it's so bad because some of these movies, especially that Thanksgiving movie, you have this zombie turkey killing people, and he has like the most stupidest Thanksgiving puns.
Yeah.
Oh, it's a punny movie. It's like Freddy.
It's like
the
nudity.
later Nightmare
It's like nudity. It's like nudity, gore, and a lot of bad puns.
Okay. Yeah, I've never seen that one, but I saw a review of it, and I was like, "This would be something that I would watch if I was younger." Like if I had known of it, I would have rented it.
Yeah, it's definitely one of those movies that you would think like growing up as a kid in like the 80s, like, oh, this is like the direct to video like 80s horror movies, you know, where it's good, but you never seen it in theaters, but it's still good and creepy.
So, I can look at that. That's awesome.
Awesome. Have you guys ever seen Trick or Treat? Speaking of pumpkins.
Not me.
I don't think so. It sounds familiar. I might have. What's the premise?
Basically, Trick or Treat is one of those horror movies that has like many stories inside of it. But you always see the one character named as Sam, who's basically a humanoid jack-o'-lantern. You would recall it because Scott O'Green, one of my friends, he's making a comic called October, and some people say his character kind of looks like that character. But it's one of those. It's one of those horror movies I recommend.
Yeah,
because it's just a really nice anthology.
Does it have Sean Astin like telling stories over a campfire?
No,
I can't remember exactly at that point, but it's definitely different elements to it.
Okay. So is it? It's an anthology movie like Creep Show, or Cat's Eye. Okay.
Yeah. But it came out like I think late 90s, early 2000s because it had the actress who played in True Blood and the X-Men's as Mystique before
Anna Paquin.
Yeah, before she became really big.
Nice. No, I know nothing. I haven't heard of this one.
It was one of those movies that came direct to DVD, but it became like a cult classic.
Yeah.
That if you saw like Sam that was from the movie, he's really a well-known character now because he became like a fan favorite in the horror genre. And you probably see a lot of animatronics at like Halloween stores now based off of him.
Oh, no way. Okay.
All right.
I think I might venture into my first Halloween store here soon. I've never been in one before.
Really?
No. There's one. There's one not too far from here. It's over by the GameStop. I saw
Yeah,
they just opened it up a couple weeks ago.
The best part of like some of the Halloween shops is going in and look at all the animatronics.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, like some animatronics are like really detailed, like a 7-foot tall clown demon that's just talking to you and playing music. And then you have the occasionally things jumping out and scaring you.
Yeah. Maybe I won't go after them. No, I'm joking. Maybe it's all overrated. Maybe I won't do it. I used to joke with this one of my friend's little sisters that I was afraid of elephants. Mm-hmm. And she saw me like 5 or 6 years later. She's like, I used to think you were really afraid of elephants. I'm like, oh, sorry, but the jig is up. I don't care about elephants. So I don't remember exactly why that made sense to say, but it was applicable to whatever we were just talking about.
Gotcha.
Ronnie's like, yeah, whatever.
I mean, hey, there are people out there that are afraid of animals.
Yeah.
They say that the Undertaker is afraid of pickles. Like the wrestling Undertaker. Yeah.
Because he's afraid of being fermented.
Huh, maybe. He's pretty old now. But they said that somebody put pickles in his boots and he ran out of the locker room. Like, what does that mean?
Kane, I told you to not eat the pickle. I'm trying to do my Paul Bear. I can't do it.
Oh, man.
Gary. Oh, it's all right, buddy. As long as you're here in the chat, that's what matters.
To Gary, not to me.
Right.
I don't care where you are, man.
Is that Gary Hodges?
Yeah, it's Gary Hodges. Mr. Dinosaurs versus Marsbots himself. Nice. Those books are so good. I still read them every once in a while. Like I'll pick them up. Just such good books. All right. I'm not going to even be close to finish with this, guys. I'll show you what I got.
Hey, that's great, man. When I say that your skills are getting like better, your skills are getting better. Don't think that you're just man. Like a writer.
I appreciate it. Thanks, man. That means a lot. I'm trying, man. Sometimes I draw when I should be writing, but I love drawing. Like I love all parts of it. Like it's just such a fun ride.
Are you gonna do your writing prompt challenge again this year?
I don't think I am. If I do, it definitely won't be in October. I just got so much that I want to get to that it would just. I still kind of like want to toy around with Inktober, and I just don't. It's so everything takes so much time, and you work, and you have a family. It's like, but I don't know. I won't do the open this month. It may wait till 2022. I don't know yet.
Yeah, I was thinking like maybe I should do Inktober, but like I got a lot of stuff I gotta work on.
That's it, me too, man. Like I just don't want to announce it because I don't want to I don't want to open Pandora's box publicly. Like if I do it, then like maybe I'll like release it in chunks or something. But
yeah. I'm thinking if I do it, I'll just do like some ink sketches. That's what I was doing the faces today. It's like warming up because like maybe I can like do some digital pencils.
Yeah.
And then like work like ink them and then just like last year I just did like a week of it. It became like a little running joke that I was like, oh, I'm not gonna do Inktober this year, and for like every day for 7 days I posted an ink drawing and said, I'm not doing Inktober, but here I did this. I would have just kept it for 31 days, but like no, like I really couldn't do the whole month, but like I'll do like at least a week, at least 7 days.
That's funny. I can totally see you doing it.
Yeah.
So Frank, how are your drawing coming along?
Not bad. I did the little pumpkin, and I'm adding a little more little elements to it. So I'll show what I got. I was thinking. So I did little candy corn monsters.
Look at them. I love it. Those would be really dope stickers. Like if you just did a bunch of candy corn personalities. Also, like even though I never celebrated Halloween, I think candy corn is delicious, and I always have, and I still do.
Candy corns are delicious,
but I don't know why candy corn gets the hate that it does, because it is a delicious sweet.
Now, the other thing that my wife says is really good, I could understand why that gets hates, and that's the Mary Jane's, the peanut butter candy that's in the black and orange wrapping. Ugh.
Mary Jane's trying to pull your teeth out. Like, yeah, that was the only thing I didn't like about them. Oh my gosh! All right, this is my last story from this was from my childhood. So
no, go ahead. I mean, make the show last. I mean, we're drawing and everything.
We spent a lot of time like for this reason or that reason in the emergency room, but it was never like for us four kids. Like we would just be in the waiting room. And so there was a really good gift shop at this hospital, and they used to sell like all kinds of like 5-cent candies. And so we would like pool when we had to go to the hospital. We pool all of our money here because it became like an event. Like we just made a plan. All right, we got this much money. We got to save this for lunch. But if we scrape our money together, we can get some candy and maybe like a magazine we can pass around or something. So we go, and one day I got like atomic fireballs were like, that was the go-to. That was key. You had to get an atomic fireball, and they were 10 cents. But I also got some Mary Jane, some Mary Joes, and some Bitter Honeys. And for some reason this day, I thought it would be a good idea to put a bit of honey in my mouth at the same time as the atomic fireball. Oh my gosh. It was like I had the symbiote in my mouth because it was just like the cinnamon candy like started to like melt down the bit of honey, but it just became like glue. And I was like, I remember choking on this fireball, and my brother took his hand and whacked me right across the back of the neck, and that candy went flying. Because it was the 80s. Like, we didn't know. There was no Heimlich maneuver back then. Not that we knew anyway. Yeah. And I remember my brother hit me so hard in the back of the neck, and that candy came out. And I don't think I ever ate another bit of honey. Like, I still eat fireballs. They're not as good anymore, and they're not as big as they used to be. But I eat those. But I pretty much cursed bit of honeys and Mary Jane's. I don't remember which one it was, so I'd rather just be safe. Stay away from both because almost died. There was almost no Foggy. It was almost non-existent, Ronnie. You would have had no co-host. I would have choked as an 8-year-old.
Gotcha. That would have not been good.
No, it would have been bad for everybody.
All right.
So that's how you make a symbiote. Just mix up those two candies.
A little bit
black licorice.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, exactly. If you do like a cherry Jolly Rancher, you get Carnage. You know, it's like you add your own color, see what you get. Maybe you get a blue raspberry Venom one day. Who knows?
Blue raspberry candy's good.
It used to be. It's overboard now. I used to love the blue raspberry blow pops. Those were like nothing that existed.
Like I mess with like blue raspberry airheads.
Airheads are a win, like 9 times out of 10. Like you don't really miss on an airhead. Every time, whenever the kids get them, I usually sneak a couple for myself because they are good, and they're still good. Like a lot of that candy is not good anymore. Like once you get old, your taste buds change, and it's like things get too sweet. But airheads still hit 9 times out of 10. But anything that's got like,
with my birthday, I told Jason about this, but since I couldn't eat chocolate pretty much anymore because chocolate has a lot of caffeine and I can't have it. But my in-laws, they're Hispanic, so I had some homemade birthday tres leche cake.
Oh, cool.
Homemade, man. It's the way to go.
Yeah. That would be one of my favorite cakes for my birthday. I would have that a lot.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
My sister used to make a really good one, so that would be like our little tradition. Remember one year someone asked me, "What's your favorite cake?" And they're like, "I'll make you a cake for your birthday." And they're like, "Oh, tres leches." I'm like, "Oh, you don't want anything like you want the best. Like what you asked me what was my favorite cake for my birthday. That's it. Like,
right?
You know, I like
the best.
I like chocolate.
Never gonna let you down.
So, yeah. And I thought, I like chocolate, and they made me a chocolate cake. Like, okay, cool.
I like regular chocolate cake sometimes.
I mean, I like chocolate, but it's like I can't have it anymore, man, and it sucks because I'm a big brownie eater.
Brownies hit all the time. I've never had a bad brownie.
All right. So here is my scale. Well, it's like a hybrid because it has skeleton features, but it's a scarecrow. So let me bring it up. Let me save this just in case if I want to work on this later. All right. Hope everybody's not too bored in the chats. Just, fun just drawing with the buddies.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes, sir. Universal.
Oh yeah.
Ronnie,
we're doing Universal Monsters. You and I talked to Scott and Josh already. They're pretty much game to hop on. So, just have a bunch of artists telling, spooky stories of their childhood, or if they don't got spooky stories, tell like awesome, stories about Halloween growing up as a kid while we're drawing Universal Monsters.
Nice.
Are you dressing up, Ronnie?
Yeah, I'm gonna be dressing up as a wizard.
Ooh. A wizard.
Yep.
As a what was the name? Fred Savage from.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Oh wow! Look at that, Ronnie.
Oh.
Wow!
Yeah,
You just
Ronnie.
did that. That's awesome, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ronnie's one of those guys.
Now my hand feels for it.
I just did a quick sketch.
Yeah.
That's awesome, though.
Yeah,
man.
I might come back to that. Yeah.
Man, that's really good.
Thank you.
Yeah, you are a machine, my G. Like you put that down. Hey, you are a wizard. You dress like yourself is a wizard, Ronnie.
Yeah, but people. That's why I need.
Look at that! I love it.
Because, that's
the autumn leaf.
You've gotten so like your artwork is so good, Frank. Like you do your thing, man. I love it.
Are we picking the monsters? I don't know. I don't know if we want to just. I think we will because even though some people might pick the same Frankenstein, pick the same monster, it's going to be one of those things. They're not going to look the same because each artist is going to do their own take.
Yeah.
But yeah.
If someone draws me as a Frankenstein monster, though.
Yeah, that's awesome.
My mom would joke.
That'd be fun for sure.
My mom would joke when I was like a little bit. I think I was like maybe 18 or 19, and she was saying, "If I have another kid, I'm gonna name him Stein." And then when I introduce people, like, "This is Frank and Stein." Like, no, mom. It's like you're too old to be having kids, mom.
Yeah, when your sense of humor reaches that level, might be time to wrap it up. Although we did try to tell my friend whose last name was Burger to marry this girl named Ham, and tell her I hyphenate her name so that her name would be like Samantha Hamburger, but it didn't work. We tried it though. We gave it what we had. Oh, interesting. Yeah. Here comes Gary. Here comes Gary with the challenging ideas.
So you're saying we should draw ourselves dressed up as our favorite universal monster?
Yeah. Like I could see you as a Wolfman, Ronnie.
Yeah.
You got the beard just like extended and the hair.
Right. Exactly.
Okay, I'm game. I'll do it. I'm in. Gary, you've laid it down, and I accept your challenge. This is what I'm doing.
What about you, Jason? Are you going to dress up for our Halloween episode?
It's a hard possibly. It's a hard possible. But I did the Lebowski thing last year, and I felt like that was kind of like a cheapy first Halloween costume. I think we did it on your show, Frank. But
yeah. I don't know if we're gonna do a Halloween episode this year, but we'll see. Anna's not really big into Halloween, so it just be talking about movies I saw. So yeah, we might dress up. We'll see what would we do.
That'd be pretty funny to see.
Yeah, I'm gonna do it. I don't know exactly how I'm gonna do it, but I had an idea of what I was gonna draw, and when you said it, I was kind of like, but now I'm like, you know what? I just did it in reverse, and it made a more pleasant sound, so I'm doing it. Well, I got one up on you, Gary, because I did Lebowski last year with no hair. I didn't even put a wig on.
And I was Hyde from that 70s show. I had that leather vest and everything,
That's right.
Yeah.
And I was a combination of Ghostbusters and Cobra Kai.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I remember that.
And then I was just Anna. I was like, you gotta dress up. I think she put a blanket around herself.
Harry,
like, I don't really dress up.
Harry, if you dress up as Lebowski with your hair and everything, and you come on the show, you have to have a White Russian in your hand. I mean, you can't be the dude without drinking a White Russian.
Yeah,
that'd be cool. But I don't know how long we've been drawing for. I mean, when did you come on the show?
Yeah, we started drawing in about 26 minutes. Like we've been going for almost another hour.
Awesome. Well, we all drawed our creatures. I probably might just, I might work on him a little bit later on. I'm really focused on, getting those last couple pages out for the third episode. Where, of course, one of my base models, Frank, is in the new episode, as a vampire. So yeah, perfect timing. But
cool. I've been waiting. Yeah.
Right. Well, I showed you what you look like as a vampire and like how you were actually attacking people and stuff. So yeah. But thank you, Frank, for jumping on. Thank you, Gary and Chase, coming in the comments.
Yeah,
Thank you all
thanks
for
for
the
hanging
birthday
out in the
wishes.
chat.
Yeah.
Jason was asking me, did I want to do the show or just take the day off and do stuff on my birthday. I mean, you guys are awesome. I love everyone in the chats. You guys are great. You help this channel grow, and this is like my best thing I ever decided to do for this channel was to go like the horror route and do like horror reviews on books and just topics in general. So yeah, it's been fun, and I just can't wait for what's in store for the future.
Awesome. Sounds good, man. I can't wait.
So
Minute to
so
52.
right? So where where to follow me and Jason. After the end, I'm gonna get Frank's link tree and edit in the description. But you all have a great night. Peace.